what if we would like to see what's inside the volume here in the 3D rendered view, or we would like to get rid of some of the material here? In this video, let's take a look at a couple of ways of how we can crop the volume here in the 3D rendered view. So firstly, here just next to the volume, we have this small slider. So we can grab this and we can apply sort of slicing on the volume. So like we see, we can here examine how the bone inside looks like, how the root canals are. Maybe we can see the nerve canal, implants, and so on. And this slicing level stays here even if you are rotating around the volume. And we can then go back to the original situation by grabbing the slider again and sort of closing the volume. So that's for viewing the volume inside. And then naturally we have this threshold slider here, this third slider under the 3D rendering tools. So this one will start removing the softer parts of the volume until just the harder tissues are remaining. And finally we can get rid of all the data. So this way we could, for example, examine implants, nerves, fitted models here without the actual volume data. And then let's take a look at how we could actually remove just some parts of the volume. So let me maximize this 3D rendered view, and also we could change the background color for the 3D rendered view so that we see better the artifacts that are remaining. So we could get rid of these by this clean 3D rendering tool here under the 3D rendering tools. So if we activate this, we get this kind of eraser tool. We can now rotate around the volume with our right mouse button down, and then we can just remove material by keeping our left mouse button down. And here we can resize this erasing cursor by keeping Alt down on the keyboard and by using our mouse wheel. So we can get rid of more material at the same time. And like we see, we have this small control dialog as well. So if we make a mistake, we accidentally remove something that we didn't want to get removed, because this tool actually will remove everything that is behind it. So we might make a hole in the volume. But we can get rid of that by using the undo button. So we can go one step back, and then naturally redo will redo that hole again. And then with revert, we could get back to the very original situation. So how the volume looked like after capturing. And revert will work also even if we had closed the patient and reopened it again. And then, okay, let's close this. Let's go back. And then we have one more way for cropping just part of the volume. So we could, for example, examine just the left side of the volume. We have this crop volume for 3D rendering function here. So when we activate this one, we can draw a rectangle on any of these slice views. So for example, if I track here a rectangle in the axial view, I can still adjust it here in the other views in order to determine exactly what part of the volume will be taken into account in this cropping. So like we see, this cropping applies just on the 3D rendered view. So this allows us to view just the part of the volume here in the 3D rendered view. We can then deactivate this cropping tool, and we could work on the data in this way. And if we would like to get rid of this cropping, we could click here on Reset View in order to get back to the original full volume here. And like we see, this cropping didn't apply on the slice views. So in the slice views, we have still the full data, But we could actually create a new project with just this part of the data, also here in the slice views. And that we could do by using the export function. So here we have this option, export cropped. We could, for example, create a new image to database. And let's see how that cropped volume would look like. So here in this new image, like we see, we have just the part of the volume visible also here in the slice views.